Greetings and salutations, my movie-loving friends. My name is Gilbert Ubar, and welcome back to the Addict Review. A little different today with the movie selection, as I'm trying different genres now, and first one up is a forgotten classic about the devil's backbone in Cincinnati, in Airborne. This movie did the impossible, and made rollerblading look cool. Everyone back in the early 90s were rollerblading, mostly terribly because of this film, and I am so excited to talk about this cheesy film and what makes it so iconic and lovable. In traditional Addict Review fashion, I'm going to break the movie down into the 3 acts as I saw them play out, what I loved about each part, if I had any complaints, and how I felt about the movie overall. So without further ado, let's grab the grape Kool-Aid bra and talk about Airborne. Mitchell Goosen at our service is the poster boy of California dreaming, living it up on, yes, his rollerblades and surfing his rad waves. But his life becomes nightmarish pretty soon as his parents get word that they get to go down under for some work and he's being shipped off to Ohio. Despite his family in Cincinnati being a bit behind the times, they are very warm and welcoming, especially his erratic and excited to hang out with him cousin, the Wiley Man. But Mitchell's welcome to school is as cold and bitter as the weather, as his new peers do not appreciate his laid-back, worry-free lifestyle or all the attention that the girls are giving him. Oh yeah, and his new peers Jack, Augie, Snake, Rosenblatt, and the Drake twins all love hockey as much as they hate Mitchell. But the hockey players invite both of them to the most important game against their rivals, the Preps, and hell, they even allow Wiley on the ice. Mr. My Dad Drives a Zamboni himself, Wiley gets creamed. So in comes Mitchell to save the day, win the game, and make new friends. Yeah! Okay, I lied. Because Mitchell becomes public enemy number 1 by slap-shotting it past Augie and winning the game for the Preps. And ooh, boy, Jackie does not like that. He gives Mitchell a Bobby Boucher-like tackle, and the concussion that Mitchell gets is just an appetizer compared to what's coming up next as we end Act 1. Before we get to the hilarious parts about Act 1, do me a huge favor by clicking like and subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. Alrighty, thank you so much. On with the show. Right off the bat, Act 1 like is the cast. And yes, Shane McDermott is perfect as the lead and the laid-back surfer dude. And no disrespect to him, but holy shit the rest of the cast. We have a young Jack Black, young Seth Green, young Jacob Vargas, all grace our presence, and even Eden McClurg is in the mix as Wiley's mom. All incredible actors and screen presence. The 90s nostalgia is surreal. The opening rollerblading and surfing scenes take me back in time. If I was in California at that time. But seriously, the music, slang, clothing, love it all in Act 1 right now, bruh. Some of my favorite moments include, well, this is a longer sequence, but the introduction of Mitchell's peers in speech class is legendary. We've got Jack Black doing Jack Black things as Augie. We've got Rosenblatt. Then we've got the Wiley Man telling the class that he's more than just the guy they give swirlies to. And Jacob Vargas, aka Snake, expressing his hatred of speech class, his hobbies, and that he has a 1.1 GPA. It is so cheesy, but I love Mitchell's description of styling, and Jack and Augie's reaction to it. Hockey game was fun to see the intensity of the rivalry between Jack and the Preps, and of course Mitchell. But I think everyone's favorite part of Act 1 is Jack Black's absolute dismay and confusion of being called bruh. That harmless greeting was tearing at the fabric of his being, and his reaction to being called a piece of underwear is hilarious. No complaints here, Moondoggies. Let's get to more cheesiness in Act 2. Wiley is in fear for their lives at school, while Mitchell is still in La La Land, thinking that Jack's not gonna hold a grudge. But Jack holds grudges, Mitch. Jack holds grudges real good. They are tortured at school, with Wiley being stuck to his locker and nearly ran off the road by the Drake twins. And Mitchell gets his clothes stolen, sand in his locker, and then his clothes and dookie paper drenched, resulting in massive itchy butt. A good way to cure itchy butt and homesickness arrives in a package, and Mitch gets to finally feel happy and inspire an entire generation to begin rollerblading. Mitchell is feeling much better after securing a double date with Nikki and getting in some quality airtime with his blades, bruh. After a proper fashion show from Wiley in preparation for their dates, the evening is going swimmingly. Well, that is until Blaine, the leader of the Preps, shows up at the diner and begins to give the group a hard time. Thank goodness Jack shows up to save the day because Mitchell sure as hell wasn't going to, and even explains to Jack that no one in this one Zamboni town is worth it, brah. No one. Oh shit, he just called Nikki a nobody. Well, Nikki, who is the sibling of the overprotective Jack, dun dun dun, says, "See you later, boy," as we end Act 2 with Mitchell wiping out left and right trying to apologize, but gets an interesting message in a dream. Act 2 likes, the comedy is weirdly wholesome, but still very, very funny. This isn't vulgar or crude, but still evokes genuine laughs. The story has us invested in these characters. I am loving it up with them. As Wiley's trying to show Mitchell a good time, Mitchell's trying to adjust to his temporary surroundings and even finds romance on accident. This act inspired a whole generation of us dumbasses to think that we could do the things on screen. Even rewatching it, I wanted to go out there and hurt myself again like I did 30 years ago. Oh my god, has it been 30 years? Some of my favorite moments, Mitchell and Wiley getting pranked at school for their hockey game sins. The boys are never safe and are dealt with some creative punishments, especially the wet teepee. Mitchell going airborne finally and showing us what he could do on blades was pretty cool, even if those jet whirling sounds on the blades were a bit extra. Probably the highlight of this act is the Wiley man visually punishing Mitchell with his fashion ensemble. That whole too sexy for my shirt song playing while he models his wardrobe had us laughing as hard as Mitchell. I almost wanted to criticize the 90s montages of the rollerblading for being borderline cringy, but this movie has a special energy to it, so it's forgiven. Now on to Act 3 and the finale of Airborne. Mitchell gets a vision in a dream from a shark named Pepe, who tells him that the ola is mia, the wave is mine, which he translates to Wiley as meaning he's got to confront Jack, the shark, to get to Nikki, his perfect wave. In order to get Nikki's attention and some street cred with the fellas, Mitchell plays some rollerblade hockey and even scores, but takes a small beating from bully Blaine. All good though, because he retaliates with one of the funniest moments in cinematic history by panting the bully in front of everyone, which begs the question, is that a chocolate stain, Blaine? He escapes home after making sure things are cool with Nikki, and well, what a turn, as the hockey crew minus Jack show up and they politely decline an offer of some grape Kool-Aid, but they do offer their friendship after that devilish stunt. They were also kind of wondering if he would like to join their race team against the Preps, so that way they can win some pride for their town and whatnot. But Wiley asks a very important question. Where's the race? I'm scared to even be saying this name out loud, but it's the Devil's Backbone, and Wiley explains why they should be petrified of it, but they gear up anyways for this no rules, fight to the death race downhill. First team with 3 members across wins. Good luck, guys. Wiley was not exaggerating the Devil's Backbone in the least, as these skaters are dropping left and right. But Snake crosses that finish line first, followed by 2 preps, meaning they need 1 more prepper cross as Jack, Blaine, and Mitchell get all tangled up. Jack is down from a cheap shot from Blaine, and Blaine tries that same bullshit with Mitchell, but Mitchell is too smooth with it and sends Blaine airborne into the water. As Blaine is possibly drowning to death, Mitchell goes and picks up his future brother-in-law Jack, and they head towards the finish line for the win. Mitchell embraces Nikki, the crowd is celebrating the victory, and we end this act and movie on a very, very good note. Act 3 likes, this is such a great finale for this comedy coming-of-age story. Guy gets his hard-earned respect from his peers, finds love in an unexpected place, helps his cousin to find himself, and overall, saves the day. Super impressed with the filming of that last scene with the race throughout the city. Looked like a very daunting task, and again, inspired morons like me to try that shit out. It did not go well for most of us. My favorite moments of this act, I will laugh heartily at the pantsing scene every time as if it's the first time I've ever seen it. Jack Black's laugh and spasming around as he's screaming full-on mooner and baloney, and then the twins coming in with that classic line, chocolate stain Blaine, this is why we remember this movie. It is corny, but Mitchell's whole spiel about Pepe and the wave is mine mumble jumble is actually kind of insightful and has all of us quoting it still. And last but not least, that race on The Devil's Backbone was pretty insane with that speed, traffic, and all that unsportsmanlike conduct on the way down. very nicely shot, and I was taken back by how cool the music was for the sequence. There is so much more I can fawn over, but once again, nothing to nag about in this act. So how did I feel about this movie overall? During the time, it felt shameful to admit that you like this movie. Now, it is amazing to see all the love for this cult classic, and it is incredible that it not only stood the test of time, but it got better with age. The cast was top-notch, with many early beginnings of stars we love now, a nice little love story sprinkled in there and showing all of us that rollerblading can unite the planet. Who would have thought a movie about the rollerblading craze of the 90s would be such a nostalgic hit now? And after rewatching Airborne again, this should be recirculated to the newer generations for some good laughs and maybe a rollerblade resurgence. And that's it for today's episode of Tar and the unlikely hit and 90s hero, Airborne. And I really hope you love and enjoy this movie as much as I do, bruh. It has been an absolute pleasure. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell some friends about the channel. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and thank you so much for watching the Attic Review. Smile, Tiger.